10 months ago, I had a crazy idea to build and deploy a mobile application. The problem was I had no app development experience. Today, my app is on the App Store and generating me passive income and changing my life in ways that I could have never imagined. So I was able to buy a Lamborghini, I was able to get a private jet, I was able to fly to Mars and come back, I was able to get a mansion worth $370 billion.
Stop the cap.
But seriously, I did build a mobile application from scratch, and in this video I'm going to walk you through step by step how I designed, built, monetized, deployed, and marketed a cross-platform mobile application while working a full-time job. Trust me, it was not easy. There was a lot of days where I was like, yo, what am I doing to myself right now? Because I had to pull a bunch of all-nighters. This is my app, and it's a simple fitness app that uses AI to generate meal plans, generate workout plans, and log user workouts. This is the design of the app, and if I click open, I created this whole thing without any previous app development experience, and it's been a journey. I'm actually glad about this because it looks pretty clean. I've spent hours, like ridiculous amount of hours, trying to make it better. I also started the app's Instagram account from zero, and I was able to grow to over 85,000 followers, and it's consistently getting pretty good view. My first video there did pretty well, and I started this account about 6 months ago. And for a few weeks, my app also made it to the top charts. So it peaked out at like third, which was pretty cool at the time. I even got a little shout out from the Expo team, which meant a lot to me. It was like a huge deal for me. Here's a peek of my bank statement to show you that I was making passive income from Apple. It's nothing crazy, but it meant a lot to me, right? Just proof that, I was able to make some money. This is my lifetime stats. It has the impression, the proceeds, the conversion rate, total download, how many crashes that I've had. I'd like to reduce that. Initially, the app was supposed to be a position-specific app for receivers in football because that's what I played in college, but with no previous app development experience, the idea just sat there. So this is the design that I created on Figma. At this time, I had no clue I still have no clue what I'm doing, but it was fun. It was a fun little project that I was just trying my best to design an app, but it just sat here and nothing happened for like 2 years. Then I discovered Bravo Studio, which is a no-code tool that you can use by importing your Figma designs into it, and then you would have a front end. You can also implement a back end. You can implement API, and it's just a really cool software that you can use to build native mobile application without having to write any line of code. This is what my app looked like on Bravo Studio. These are all screens that are coming from my Figma design. So you import them here, and then you can connect them to databases. As you can see, it's pulling data from the database. So you could do a lot of different things with it, but it had its limitations. It helped me understand app development, front end, back end, even architecture of mobile applications. But the problem was when I tried to do certain things, I couldn't do them. And it's also paid service. So that was kind of some of the limitations that I faced. I kind of took a break from all the no code, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to learn how to code. In mid 2023, I started doing research. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos. I started reading blogs. I started going down rabbit holes of forums just to figure out how to code. I wanted to code in cross-platforms. I kept seeing React Native and Flutter, and I ended up choosing React Native because of React Native Snap. So Snack is a really cool tool for starting out because you don't have to worry about the setup. Then you can literally just jump into it and start building apps. And this is my first app that I started playing around with. It was really cool to kind of learn and understand how React Native work, Expo work. Once I started trying to make it more sophisticated, like having a backend and API key, then I started seeing the limitation of Snack. So at this point, I felt pretty comfortable. I haven't built anything crazy yet, but I felt a little bit more confident. So I started going into actually setting up my development environment, and that's when I ran into Cursor. Imagine having ChatGPT helping you code in your IDE. That's exactly what Cursor is. So it has the chat box here where you can literally chat while you're writing code in real time. And it's just very helpful. You can copy things and you can add, you can edit. This was a game changer for me. This really helped me a lot. At this point, I had my development environment set up. I had Cursor, so I felt pretty good. So I started working on the finance app again. I spent 6 months working on this app. I was watching tutorials, reading documentation, getting as much help as I could, using ChatGPT, using Cursor, and the app was doing great. In the development environment, there was no issues. At the time, I felt untouchable.
I'm the guy.
Stop saying you're the guy. We all know that you're not the guy.
I felt like I was really him.
I'm the guy. The real guy.
And then I deployed the app on the App Store. Tell me why. It crashed. So at this point, I was so frustrated because I was like, dude, it never crashed in development environment. But then the moment it's in prod, it kept crashing and I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And I just kept trying everything I could. And the problem was I couldn't even figure out how to figure out what was making it crash. All I knew was it was crashing. Well, I don't even know what to even look at to figure out why it was crashing. I was done. I was defeated. I can't lie. I was tired. I was like, you know what, screw this. And mind you, during this time, I was working full time. So all this was literally after work. I would spend all night, sometimes till the next day, working on this app for 6 months plus. At the start of this year, 2024, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna nuke everything that I've done so far and start from zero. And this time I'm going to start with the fitness app that originated me wanting to build a mobile app to begin with. So the first thing I did was I got a pen and paper and started drawing out what I wanted. This is the logbook of when I was building the app. I wrote down every feature that I wanted. There's so much notes in this book. It's ridiculous. Some people use Figma. I personally found pen and paper easy, fast. I could do it wherever I wanted and it worked for me. So be open to getting feedback, constructive criticism. It's gonna hurt. I can't lie to you. It's gonna hurt, but it is reality. You just have to be able to take it, work on whatever it is and just keep getting better. This is what my flowchart looked like at the time. This was what helped me make the app and develop the app. I also drew sort of how I wanted the back end to look like. I will get into details with all these sections and what they are. The more time you spend in planning, designing, and architecturing your app, the easier the development of the app itself will be. React Native Expo is obviously the stack that I ended up using. ChatGPT was very helpful. Cursor was very helpful. I built the app screen by screen. Remember, AI cannot build a full-fledged app for you by just writing one prompt. It builds an app for you if you actually take it incrementally, if you actually know what's going on, have a plan, you have a design, work through the research and everything that is required to make that app, then use AI as a tool to make your job so much easier. And a lot of people try to use AI to build something crazy. It's like, it's not going to do that. You're better off being the architect, the brain of it, and it's the employee. For the back end, I used Firebase and Heroku. With Firebase, I had Firestore, storage, authentication, database. I used Firebase to run my app. There's a funny story about what made me start using Heroku. Initially, I didn't understand why you were not allowed to have your API key in the front end. I mean, I know you're not, but I didn't understand why. I'm bundling the app, I'm deploying it. The person has the app on their phone. How are they able to get my API key? Well, I found out the hard way. Someone reverse engineered my app and then they ran up my bill. And at the time, I thought I was making bread. I was like, yo, my API key is going up. That means I'm getting so much users. Come to find out, I'm not getting that many users. I'm like, what's going on? This is not making any sense. The amount of API requests I was getting versus the amount of users I had, it just was not matching. And this was frustrating because my app was live on the App Store and I had to nuke the API key that was running the app. Part of the reason why I didn't set up a backend, I didn't know how to do it. And I didn't want to do it because it's hard. Then this happened and I was forced to learn how to do it that day. So I got home from work and I kid you not, I literally worked on this till the next day, went to work, came back from work, worked on it again through the next day without any sleep. Don't do that. It's a terrible idea. It's not healthy. I'm not saying do it. I'm just telling you what I did. So I was learning about backend, watching YouTube videos, just try to learn and understand how to actually set this up because I didn't know how to do it. And I ended up figuring it out and getting it deployed. It was so easy that I was so pissed. But sometimes it's easy after you've gone through that whole process. So the AI that I was using was OpenAI to be able to integrate generating meal plans, generating workout plans, and I had to write an algorithm, and it was really cool. It was really cool because I had to kind of figure out how to manipulate or like prompt engineer to get specific things that I was looking for. If you don't tell it what you want to do and you don't actually track what's going on, the AI is just gonna spit what you ask it. There's a lot of engineering that comes into it. It was really cool to kind of wrap my head around that. I can't lie, I enjoyed it. Rapid API is actually a tool that hosts a bunch of different API keys. This is what Rapid API looks like. A lot of different APIs are all centralized in this one location. You just need one API key that you can use to get all these API integrated in your app, website. I use this for the workouts, and I also use it for the meal plans recipe. I built my app using React Native navigation. In this case, you have to write the type of navigation you want. You have to actually code it yourself. But at the time, Expo was trying to migrate to Expo Router, which is more of a file-based type of navigation, where I didn't understand and I didn't know how to do it. And I already built my app and my app works. So I was like, you know what? This works. I'm not gonna break it. I'm just gonna leave it how it is. I can't lie to you, it was very difficult because I had to change my whole structure of the app and went through every line of code. And when I finally was able to get it to work in Expo Router, it was a big W. When I was using React Native navigation, my Android version would not work. I tried to deploy it and it could not work. So for like approximately 6 months plus, I only deployed the iOS version. And then when I migrated to Expo Router, Android started working. It was a lot of work to get that done, but it was a huge W, and it was a lot of learning because I kind of had to go through my whole code base again. To monetize the app, I tried different solutions. I tried subscription, banner ads, interstitial ads, affiliate links, making the app paid at the start, because at the start it was ranked, so I kind of wanted to capitalize on that. I capitalized on it for a few months, but then after a while and doing some research, I kind of ended up just going with subscriptions and banner ads. I used Revenue Cat, which is a centralized monetization-based system. In this case, iOS and Android, which has two different payment systems. So I can actually just integrate all of them in Revenue Cat and use Revenue Cat SDK to actually integrate that in my app. This is what Revenue Cat looks like. This is Sandbox, so it's not real data. So in this case, obviously there will be Google Store as well here, and then there will be Apple Store. Deploying the app was one of the harder parts because you have to learn the guidelines that Apple has. You have to understand the requirements of Google as well, and they both have different requirements. Screenshots, their specifications, and they're very picky. Not only that, when you do all that, you have to submit it and hope your app is going to work, because you can literally go back and forth with them where they decline it. In my case, I was very lucky and it got approved. I think the second time there was an issue where I missed like a privacy policy, and they just told me that and I added that, and the next time it got approved. So they're pretty good and helpful with that because they know how hard that process is for developers. A really cool thing about Expo is a lot of the work that you would have to do from a development standpoint, it really helps you with a lot of that work. When you're sending out updates, usually you would have to deploy the app, submit it again to the App Store, wait for them to approve it. Well, with Expo, there's an update feature. To update your app, you can update it, send it over the air. It doesn't have to go through the App Store and so on. You don't have to wait. You can just send it to the users live. So when I launched the app, I shared it on all my social media. Like I'm talking about like Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, LinkedIn, any social media you can think of. It helped me get a lot of feedback from friends and family, and I was able to make improvement. I was able to make changes. Obviously, there's a limit to friends and family helping you with your app, but it did help me get kind of like a boost, and my app was doing pretty well, which probably was one of the reasons why I was able to get ranked. So I logged in, started growing the Instagram account. As you can see here, I got it up all the way to 85+ K followers. I was posting consistently. I was posting like 2 to 3 times a day for like 6 months straight. It was hard, I can't lie to you, and it still is hard. Look at this video, did like 23 million, right? So it was doing really well. The account was doing really well. As you can see here, I have the link to my app's landing page. It was just funneling users to my landing page, which is then funneling users to my app. And it was a really cool process, and it was working perfectly for me. So I just doubled down on growing the application. It was getting me a lot of clicks on the website, and it was also getting a lot of downloads. So far, it's been working for me. So I just doubled down and focused on that. That was how I was able to design, build, deploy, monetize, market, everything, a mobile app. And that was all my process. I can't lie to you, it was hard. It was a lot of learning, it was a lot of setbacks, there was a lot of times where I was frustrated. But at the end of the day, as long as you don't give up and you just keep pushing, there's a light at the tunnel. It's all part of the process. Now the app is making me passive income. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you found it valuable. Like and subscribe. Peace.